If you've sold anything at any time, at some point you've probably been stumped by a prospect with an objection. Did you stumble? Well, this video is all about a 4-step process that we use to handle any objection from any prospect at any time. It's simple, and once you've mastered it, it'll make you an objection superstar. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I post a video on how to help you handle objections. We've used this 4-step process to handle hundreds of objections, move sales forward, and close more business without dropping our price. I've taught this process to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and the method is laid out in our book, Sales Made Easy for Entrepreneurs, right here. And you can get it on Amazon. I've put the link in the description below so you have easy access. All right, so what's the simple approach to handling any objection from any prospect at any time? It's actually is that simple. There's 4 steps. I'll cut right to the chase. Stop, listen, clarify, answer. Those 4 steps will allow you to handle any objection. So, stop. What do we mean by stop? Basically, shut up. How many times has someone or a prospect given you an objection? Let's say it's a price objection, and immediately you go into defense mode. You immediately start talking and trying to defend the fact that your price is right and avoid the objection and just battle with the prospect. And here to tell you, the first step in the process is to stop. Shut up. Shut up and listen. Okay? Just have to shut up. You have to stop talking, stop pitching, and just accept it and just stop. Stop everything. Don't say anything until you do the next thing, which is listen. Why do we stop? What's the real reason? It's to take a breath so that we can start reading between the lines. Because here's the issue. When we get an objection from a prospect, typically what they're objecting to may not be what we think it is. So you have to stop and get ready to do what we call read between the lines. What is the real objection surrounding the objection? I'll give you an example. Let's say you're at the proposal stage and you're presenting your proposal and the prospect says, I don't like the price. So what is it that they're really asking? Is it true that they don't like the price, or is it something else? And if you don't stop and jump right into an answer, you may be answering the wrong objection. So that's why the first step in the process is to stop. Stop yourself from stepping in and interrupting the customer or the prospect, and make sure you're really answering the objection that they truly have and not just what you think they're saying. So have you ever done this? Have you ever experienced this? You know, just jumping right in and not waiting and just getting defensive and then getting stuck and stumped by the prospect. If you have, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what your experience is, and we want to try to help if you do have any questions. So go ahead and leave a comment below and let us know if you've ever run into this. So the next step is to listen. So we stop, and the reason we stop is because we want to make sure that we're not answering the wrong question or the wrong objection that the prospect has given you. And the next step is to listen. So how do you listen correctly so that you're answering the right objection? This is where listening skills are crucial. You really have to be an active listener with your prospect. Some people perceive sales and they're always that outgoing, boisterous individual that does all this talking. But the reality is you really have to do more listening. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. 2 ears to hear more and say less. So you really have to listen. And there's a concept, I don't know, you might have heard of it, called active listening. And really it is an intensive approach to truly hearing what they're saying. And I mentioned read between the lines. Your goal is to try to understand what the real objection is by listening actively. So how do you do that? Well, it starts with a question. When they give you the objection, you're going to start with a question. Stephen Covey writes about this in his book. I don't know if you've ever read The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And he always says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. So that's our objective with listening. We're trying to understand so that we can then be understood. So how do you do active listening? That's where the next step in the process comes from. And it's called clarify. You have to clarify what they're saying. Clarify what the real issue is. And to do that, you have to ask a question. So what is the question you ask to clarify? You restate what you thought you heard them say. Only you're trying to restate it in the form of a question that causes them to reveal more to you than just what the objection is. So here's an example. So in the case of our price objection, the prospect says, I don't like the price. You can ask them, as part of the clarification, is something like this. Let me see, Bob. Let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're saying you're not comfortable with the value you're getting for the price, or you don't really like the price, or you don't have the budget for that price. So what you're doing there by trying to clarify what they're saying is you're pulling out some underlying reasons. And where do those reasons come from? It's because you've done your homework. You're understanding your true value. And if you don't remember your value, if you haven't defined what that is and understanding what you're selling, you might want to check this video out on how to close more business. And I've attached a link right here for you. And I'll put a link below in the description so that you can see that. But you're trying to understand if they're really responding to your value. What we're trying to accomplish is to clarify whether it truly is the price or if there's something else surrounding the price that's causing them to hesitate. That's why we're trying to clarify. They may come back and say, well, yeah, I really don't feel like I'm getting the value you've talked about at this price point. So now it gives you something to further dig into. And now you're going to start re-clarifying. So now you want to start asking questions around that point. Once they've revealed to you and started opening up a little bit around with what their true objection is. If they might come back and say, well, that's way beyond our budget. And now you can re-clarify and just continue in that clarification loop to understand what their budget is. And perhaps in the end of the day, you can modify what you're offering. So the key is to really listen. That loop, there's a loop there. Listen, clarify. Re-clarify, listen. Listen, clarify, re-clarify, listen. And we stay in that loop of clarify and listen and clarify and listen until you truly get a response from the prospect that says, when you say, let me see if I understand what you're saying, and you present their objection to them, and they say, yes, that's it. That's my objection. Now you truly understand what you're trying to answer, and that's what leads us to the next step, which is answer. Now you can really answer the objection with quality, in alignment with the prospect, and provide them with the right answer. Stop, listen, clarify, answer. And you got a 4-step process to handle any objection that any prospect throws at you. If you're struggling with handling objections or have any kind of sales questions, please go ahead and reach out to me at rob@getmoresales.academy. The link is in the description below. Or you can download our ebook, 7 Sales Laws That Make Sales Easy, again attached in the description below. And also don't forget to join. You can join our Facebook group. Reach out to join the Get More Sales Academy Facebook group, and you'll be able to ask questions and be part of the community where we'll help you with your sales as an entrepreneur. Again, the link is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And in case you missed it, make sure you check out this video for tips on how to create your perfect sales pitch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.